Good morning and welcome to the Sporting Index Grand National Day preview with Barry Geraghty. Barry, wonderful day yesterday again. I just can't wait. Greatest race in the world, a race that you won many years ago on Monty's Pass. Landed a big gamble for the owner, Michael Footer, I remember, won over €1 million. And what are your memories of that day?
That was brilliant. I fancied him. He'd been second in the top the year before, so he had good course experience. We knew the step up and trip was going to suit him because he lacked a little bit of pace in the top, and so he was ticking all the boxes. And I was hopeful as you could be going into the race, but just he jumped so well. I got the clearest of passages, and he bolted up really. So I could never have dreamt of winning the Grand National as easy as he did.
I can see the trophy just behind you, actually, just snuck behind your right shoulder there on my screen.
I dusted it up for the occasion, so I did, Chief. So it's a nice one to have.
I mean, obviously, you know, for people who don't really follow racing, this is the race, and for those of us who do as well, it is. For you as a jockey, how does it compare to, you know, riding in a Gold Cup or a Champion Hurdle, one of the, you know, big Cheltenham races?
Well, I suppose the difference is that everyone has a chance, and you saw that in the Fox Hunters with a 66-1 winner. So everyone has a ticket going out in the Grand National. If you're going out in the Gold Cup, it's generally the fancied ones, and if you haven't got the proven class to win a Gold Cup, you're not likely to win it. But everyone has a little squeak in the Grand National. The dream is there, and it's probably the race you grow up as a kid dreaming of winning. So it's got an amazing history, and it's the one you want more than any. But it's more for the general than the purist.
Yeah. And one of those things, when you're riding there, how involved? How can you hear the crowd and the like? Is it? I mean, because the crowds are just enormous, and they sadly won't be there. Although it's lovely to see all the owners there this week. But can you hear the crowd? Did they push the horse? Did they push you?
Oh, you can hear the crowd, but I suppose with experience from being there, you can take it in. As you jump in the water jump, you could afford yourself let your concentration slip a little and just take in the atmosphere and the crowd. But when you're in your early years, you don't hear a thing. It's just tunnel vision because you're so focused. But the buzz before the race, the fanfare, the crowd, the milling around at the start to try and get position, the starter, and then going back to the history of the year of the false start and the void race, all those things add to the whole climax and the anticipation and everything. So it's the most exciting 5 minutes you'll have is on the build up to the race. But then the race itself, the 10 minutes of it is it's second to none.
I've always found it amazing how they get 40 horses in the parade ring, for, you know, let alone, you know, on the course and get you all started.
No, it is. It's crazy, but they get it done. It's just all part of the buzz and part of the fun, and Liverpool lends itself to it brilliantly too.
Brilliant. Right, so here we go. So we start. I want to start previewing today's racing. 3 Grade 1s. Every race is graded today. And we start with Grade 3 in the EFT Systems Handicap Hurdle. And I will quickly go through the betting for you there. And it's Come On Teddy 15-2, Champagne Platinum 17-2, T Clipper 17-2, Polish 9-1.
Yeah, well, I think Come On Teddy, he was third in the Thames, which is a great run. He stayed on from behind. I think he has a good chance and he's a worthy favourite. Champagne Platinum ran a little bit keen in the Thames and he had first-time cheek pieces. So he goes without the cheek pieces today, which I think will help him relax. So he's definitely one with a big chance as well. And I also thought Southfield Harvest, who's having his first run with cheek pieces for Paul Nichols, whose horses are flying. He was third in Newbury on his last start. And I think he's a progressive type and should run well.
I'll be cheering on T Clipper here. One of my friends, Jerry Hines, he's the owner here, and they really fancied each way. But again, not Sporting Index's view, my own view here. But and that's what I'll be cheering on. Moving on to the Betway Mersey Novices Hurdle, Grade 1 over 2 miles 4. Any fancies here, Barry? I'll go through the betting for you in just a tick. Here we go. There's my internet. Here we go. So we bet 2-1 My Drogo, Ballyadam 11-4, Drill Deal 13-2, Melodrama 9-1, 14-1 bar.
Yeah, my Drago looks a very smart horse and is progressive, but he hasn't competed at the top level yet. Now, he is definitely a horse. He's a coming horse, and I think he can make a smashing chaser. But Ballyadam has that Grade 1 form. He probably had a tough race in Cheltenham, but the ground was softer than ideal in Cheltenham for him, and he made a bad mistake second last. And that was on the Tuesday, so it gives him a little bit more time to recover. I think he's the one with the top level form and is the one to beat. My Drago, say he's definitely an improving horse. And the other you mentioned was The Real Deal. A little bit of a tricky one. He won the last time at all kinds of prices and Punchestown on very soft ground. He's a good horse, but like that, he hasn't competed at the top level. I think Ballyadam's Grade 1 form is hard to look past.
And I must mention the ground. It's good to soft all round. They have watered today and yesterday in places. I think they're just very keen on making sure the ground is as safe as possible for the national. Even though I think Thursday into Friday they had a bit of rain overnight, they still watered on all courses, which is good to see. So it'll be very, very true ground, I'd say. Now moving on to the 3 o'clock, which is the Doombar Maghole Novices Chase. This one might be more one for, to watch in the armchair and just appreciate what hopefully it will become a superstar, and already really is a superstar in Shishkin. We bet 2-13 Shishkin, Gumball 11-1, Funambule Sivola 14-1. That was easy to say. Elvis Mail 16-1. Is this just a watching race?
It is, yeah, but I think Funambule Sivola is definitely one of interest. He's good form, good recent form, and looks progressive. I'm not so sure about the opposition. They've been knocking around each other and everything like that. And Gumball has been up and down on hurdles and fences. So Shishkin obviously is a standout, and Bar Disaster will come home alone. But I think I won't attempt his name again. Venetia's horse, I think, is next best.
I'm not going to. Very good. Yeah. How impressed were you with Shishkin at Cheltenham?
Oh, you'd have to be. They went very fast. He raced a little bit behind the bridle, and he probably sends out distress signals to the stands. But I spoke to Nico afterwards, and he said he never had a moment's worry. And even he set him alight early to go and win his race because he'd full faith in the horse. So he probably sends out a few, as I said, distress signals and gets a few people on the edge of their seat. But no, he's all class, and he's got loads under the bonnet when he needs them. So he's different class to these, and he's a horse with a massive future.
Right, moving on to the stayers, which is the 3:35. We've got a horse that skipped Cheltenham in Time Hill at the top of our market at 9-4. Then we've got Paisley Park 11-4, Roxana 9-2, and 9-1 Bar. Tricky race, I'd say.
Yeah, well, Paisley Park for me in Cheltenham, it was a lack of stamina. I think the softer ground in Ascot was the winning of the race, of the long walk when he beat Time Hill. Time Hill travelled brilliantly and was just caught late on. I think the better ground and the sharper track is going to play to Time Hill's strengths. Paisley Park to me just looks like he wants it soft, and he wants a stiffer test, which he didn't have at Cheltenham on the better ground. So I think Paisley Park for me isn't the one. Time Hill is, and I think the value is Lisnagar Oscar, who won the stairs hurdle at Cheltenham last year. He fell in the stairs this year on his second run back after a wind up. So there is improvement in him. I think he's good each way value, but for me, Time Hill is the one to beat.
Lisnagar Oscar 9-1 with Rachel Blackmore on board. Right, let's move on to the 4:15, and we here are betting Happy Go Lucky 7-2, Cloudy Glen 7-1, Top Notch 15-2, Sam Brown 17-2, and 9-1 Bar. Very, very competitive Betway handicap chase, grade 3 over 3 miles 1.
Yeah, well, Happy Go Lucky, who was second in the Ultima, I think that's the strongest level of form, and he's a worthy favourite. He's the one to beat. And the other with Cheltenham form for me is Cloudy Glen, who was second in the Kimure, which will be more of a staying race. But it's still a good level of form, and I think they are the two to keep an eye on. It's tricky enough as regards the opposition. There's plenty in there with average form. I'm not sure it's the strongest handicap that was ever run, but I'd be going with Cheltenham form, and those would be the two for me.
Very good. And then there's a long break to the next race, which is the big race of the day, well, big race of the year, the Randox Grand National, over 4 miles, 2.5 furlongs, 40 runners. This is what we've all been waiting for, building up to. Barry, have you got a few tips for us here? It's very hard. I'm sure your phone doesn't stop ringing with those once a year people asking you for tips in this race, and tell us all.
Yeah, well, sure. Everyone wants to back the winner of the national. Cloth Cap is a worthy favourite, but you'd have to question the strength of the Ladbrokes Trophy. I don't think it was the strongest renewal when you compare it to vintage years. But he was a good winner, and he couldn't have won it any easy. So he is a worthy favourite. But is he worthy of being 4-1? I'm not so certain. And there is plenty there with big chances of the form horses. The ones I would like would be Borough Saint. I think he's very interesting. He won the Irish Grand National 2 years ago as a 7-year-old. With limited experience. He had a run in the Bobby Joe behind Acapella Bourgeois. And Willie has trained him for this race. He's sweet on him. He likes the ground. He jumps well. Patrick is sweating down to do 10:13, which I don't remember Patrick doing 10:13 probably since he was about 16. So you know how much that means to them. So I think Borough Saint is a big player. I like Any Second Now, who was very impressive in Navan last time over 2 miles, which to me is always a great indication of a horse's well-being. He Castlegrace Paddy behind him that day, and Castlegrace Paddy wasn't lucky not to win in Fairyhouse at Easter, so he's definitely got some strong form. Manila Times has good form in handicaps, and those handicaps in Ireland have been so competitive and are working out well, so I think he's one with a chance. Far Class, to me, has a good profile apart from his age. He would be the first 7-year-old since 1940 to win the race, so there's 81 years without a 7-year-old. That would have to be a question. I don't think they're the right type of horse for this race, just because it's such a test of stamina. But I do like his form. Of the outsiders, if you forgave Yala Anki, who fell in the Beecher Chase at the first, he's got some great form. He was third in the Welsh Grand National behind Secret Reprieve. I think that's a good level of form. He's generally a sound jumper and he stays really well. And the other was Acapella Bourgeois, who was third in the Irish Grand National 2 years ago. And he beat Borough Saint in Fairyhouse in the Bobby Joe back in February. So he's a good stayer. He jumps well, and he's probably one at a fancy price each way. But if I had my choice of the lot, I'd probably go with Any Second Now. And Borough Saint would be the next one I'd want. But Acapella Bourgeois, I think he's good each way value.
Yeah, it's just an amazing race, and I think your Grand National last week there's 150-1 winner. Us as bookmakers pray for sort of results like that. But I'm not sure we have got any 150-1 shots here. I'll just quickly run through the betting. Cloth Cap's been on the drift a bit. Actually, it's out to 5-1 now. Manila Times 9-1. Borough Saint 17-2. Any Second Now 10-1. Kimberlite Candy 11-1. Secret Reprieve 14-1. I mean, the best thing for people to do with this is go onto our website and check all the prices and you know, really good luck. And I hope this is a sort of race to enjoy with all the family and friends, and whether if you're allowed them around or you can get them on Zoom, it's just absolutely magic. Right, Aintree finishes with a very nice race in the Weatherby's National Hunt Stallions Standard Open flat race. So, which is a grade 2. I've had a runner in this race. I think we came third, Western Rider, many years ago. Here we go. I will go through the betting for you here, and we have got a Balco Coastal at 15-8, the Gossiper 5-1, Nappers Hill 11-2, Super 6-8-1, Stage Star 9-1. I think these flat races are still quite hard this week. We had a short price one beat earlier in the week, didn't we?
Yeah, no, it's definitely tricky, right? But I was chatting with Nicky early in the week, and he's just talking about his chances, and he seemed to like this horse in the bumper. He was very impressive when he won an all-weather bumper in Kempton by 17 lengths, which is very unusual to see one pull so far clear on the all-weather like that. So he looks impressive. We got a good vibe from the trainer, so who knows how to get one ready for one of these big bumpers. So I'd be very much in the Balco Coastal camp. I thought of the others, Nappers Hill, who beat Stage Star in Ascot. I thought that was a good run and a good level of form, so he might be the danger. But We've got a good vibe off Coastal, Balco Coastal. So I'd be keeping an eye on him for Saturday, and he's one for the future, I'd say.
Brilliant. All that it leaves me to say is that we've got some nice offers for new account holders. If you're spread betting, and you can have a spread betting and a fixed odds account with Sporting Index, we do offer both accounts in the one wallet. So you have got £50 of promo cash. So we'll the first £50 of losses we will cover. Anything you win, you keep. Remember, spread betting that losses losses can exceed your deposit. For fixed odds for new account holders, once you place 5 times £5 free bets, just £5 free bets, we will give you a £25 free bet. Remember that it's 18 plus, and please bet responsibly. It's a wonderful day of sport today. We've got moving day in the Masters. We've got European rugby quarterfinals, but most importantly, we've got top class racing and the Grand National. Be lucky, everyone. Barry, thank you so much again for being with us this week. And I hope you've given us a few winners again today.
Cheers, Chief. Have a good day.
Cheers, Barry.